Hi everyone, Cassie here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are participating in a video hop to celebrate Trinity Stamp's 5th birthday. And I'll have more information on that down below in my description box. Let's talk about what we're using. We have our Fan-tusk-tic stamp set along with the matching die. We also have these amazing flat acetate shaker pouches. They're round. Yes, isn't that super cool? And they come in 3 different sizes. We're also going to be using our Stars and Sprinkles stencil. It is 4 pieces. Isn't that super cool? And that is super fun to get a neat result. We're going to be using the Abstract Scratch background. That's another new one. And then we're also bringing in the Clean Cut Layers Circles Set A. That's going to cut our circles for our pouches. And then I have an array of embellishments. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to stamp out 3 backgrounds because I'm going to make 3 cards. And I started off with some pink ink that I have put right down on top of my Abstract Scratch background. And then I have found the easiest way for me for these kinds of backgrounds is just to put my cardstock right to the stamp, and I'll clean it off in between with some water and a microfiber cloth. But now we're making our green one, and each of these are A2 size, which means they are 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And yeah, look at how cool that stamps out. Next up is a blue one, and then just using my fingers, pressing that all around, I can get a pretty good impression that way. And check it out. So 3 backgrounds. All right, now we need to make or do our stencil. So like I said, there are 4 pieces to this. I have 2 pieces of 6x6 cardstock that I have trimmed down so that I can use this stencil fully, because I'm going to cut some circles out of this. So I'm bringing in my yellow ink for my first stencil, and I'm using a blending buddy for each of these different colors. And like I said, I have to do 2 backgrounds, so I'm only going to show you the one. But there's the first one. Then we'll take our second stencil and line that up, and then tack that down to our tonic platform, obviously cleaning everything off in between. And then we'll bring in our pink ink. I'm going to have everything linked down below that I am using, but these stencils, as always with Trinity stamps, are super easy to line up because there are some embossed lines on there that help you to see the piece that you've already stenciled on there. So I'm just lining those up, matching up the embossed lines, and that's how you know you've got the stencil going the right way. And then we'll bring in some green ink and do that on the 3rd stencil. And then we're going to do the same thing with our blue stencil as well, or the 4th stencil, using some blue ink as well. And then we'll end up with 2 of these 6x6 backgrounds that I can cut down for the various parts I need for my 3 cards. But like I said, this is a part of a video hop, because we're celebrating Trinity Stamp's 5th birthday. Isn't that awesome? 5 years of amazing stamps and dies and stencils and cool products like our blending brushes, and it just keeps getting better and better. I have loved being a part of that journey, and I've loved them since the beginning. So I am so happy to be here celebrating with Trinity Stamps, because it's one of my favorite companies for sure. All right, there are our 2 backgrounds. I went ahead, just to save a little time, and stamped out 3 of our little walruses from our Fan-tusk-tic stamp set. I'm going to color them each basically the same, but just using some different colors for the walrus themselves. This first one's going to be more of an orange gray, I guess. So this is why I've got my 07.1 Olo marker. I stamped all of these images, including all of the sentiments, onto some Express-It cardstock using some blackout ink by Ink on 3. That's just a good color combination just a good combination when you are trying to do alcohol marker coloring, because you don't get any bleeding. The inks themselves blend beautifully on that Express-It cardstock, and if you haven't tried it, I highly suggest it. I actually had somebody contact me not that long ago and say how much they liked that paper, so they were happy that it was suggested. So now I'm going to bring in a darker color to be a little bit more dramatic. Like I said, putting those colors up on the screen, and then we'll blend that out a little bit more with our 7.3. But I love how this little walrus turned out. He's so darn cute. And those tusks of donuts just have me chuckling. I haven't found a super great gluten-free donut, but believe you me, when I do, I would totally eat that. I love donuts. All right, we're coloring up our coffee, and then we're going to color our donuts. I want them to be chocolate donuts because honestly, that just sounded really good while I was coloring these. I'm not really a dessert person, but if you stuck a chocolate donut in front of me, I would tear into it. I do apologize. My cat is needing some attention right now, so I apologize. He is just all over everything right now. And then I'm going to bring in those same colors basically that I did for my backgrounds. We're going to do some pinks. We're also going to do some blues, and we're also going to do some greens. So I'm going to change up these little walruses. Their hats are going to be different colors. The icing is going to be a different color for them, just to kind of just make it a little bit different, add a little interest to this little stack of cards that I'm making. But they are all going to have those acetate shaker pouches on them. And I love that Trinity Stamps also has them in mini slimline and also A2. Isn't that great? All right, so all I'm doing here is taking all the matching dies, and yes, matching dies for all the sentiments, and I'm lining those up, running that through my die cutting machine, and now I'm going to bring in the pouches. So take a look at that. You've got them in three sizes. You have a 4.25 inch, a 3.25 inch, and a 2.25 inch shaker pouch. You can get an assortment pack, or you can get them in the size that you want, and I think there are 5 in each of those packs. And so I used my Clean Cut Layers Circle A to die cut out the pieces that I need that would fit perfectly inside these pouches. And as you can see, I've die cut all of those 6x6 Stars and Sprinkles stencil backgrounds, and so we're ready to go. One of my cards is going to be a circle card. I just figured we had to do that, right? So I've got my pouch ready to go. I've peeled off the protective layer that's on the pouch itself. And then I am going to bring in some of the ribbon stick in the 1/4 inch, because there's a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch, and the 1/4 inch is what will work perfectly for these. Now this is some pretty strong tape, I will say that. I've been very impressed with this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to line that up all around the outside of this circle. So I'm just kind of going around, overlapping it a little bit. That's okay. The release paper will peel off just fine and everything will stick. If you are concerned about it, which I was for the other ones, so I did use some liquid adhesive as well. I used my Crafty Glue Friend on top of that just to be extra secure. But this rip and stick tape is pretty secure as well. So I'm folding over those edges. You'll notice I did leave a little strip still attached, some of that release paper, because that is where I am going to put in my shaker bits. And so I'm just wrapping up those edges. I just think this is the neatest idea of a flat shaker. How great is that? I love shakers anyway, but sometimes they're a pain to mail. All right, I've got 4 different colors of sequins that I'm using there. You can see I've got some bubblegum, some Poolside, some Pear, and some lemon chiffon. And these are all beautiful. I just had the best time with the new embellishments when I was making all of my cards. They're so pretty, and I love adding embellishments anyway, but the fact that these are basically flat just makes it that much better too. Again, making it an easy mailer. With the price of everything going up these days, you certainly don't want to have to pay too much to send your cards in the mail if you don't have to, right? So making everything flat as can be, just like I'm doing here, helps a lot. So now I'm going to take off the release paper on that last little bit, and I'll fold all of that over, and you'll see it's a very cool little shaker. And so then I did cut out a base. So my base is... I just used a regular A2 size card, and I took that same circle die and then I cut a base using that. You'll notice at the very top there's a little bit of a flat edge. That's where it will fold open. So that worked out perfectly. And then I'll peel off the release paper on my rip and stick. Now, to be honest with you, I would, if I were redoing this card, not only would I use that rip and stick, but I would also use my liquid glue just because I like that extra security. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that cardstock that I die cut out because I didn't want to waste any of it. I added that to the inside of the card. Now I'll glue down one of my little walrus and the sentiments that I plan to use. And I'm just gluing those down using our Crafty Glue Friend. This again will keep everything nice and flat. You could use foam squares or the adhesive foam strips that Trinity Stamps carries if you really wanted to. But I'm going to leave it as is. And then we've got that inside. Who's got the coffee? And we'll put the coffee cup on the inside as well. That walrus just makes me smile so much. And so there is our first card that I made. I'm not going to show you how I made the other ones. This would be a very long video. But here they are using our 3.25 inch shaker. And then I did put 3 of those 2.25 shakers on the one A2 size card. Aren't they super fun? And then I did use an array of those sprinkles all over our background. But again, I just love how these turned out. They make me so happy. I just love shakers anyway, and all these colors, the cute little walrus, I love it. So again, this is a part of a video hop, so head down to my description box to head to the next place. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Definitely consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I will see you very soon in another video. Bye everybody!